Hello and thanks for joining me, your sport pilot James Glory, on another exciting episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. We'll bring the exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sport every Tuesday. It's our tradition to do this, and this week won't be an exception. So I would implore you to please stay tuned, because we'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back to all sports lovers, as we'll be starting this week episode from the world of Formula One, talking about the just concluded Canada Grand Prix that was won by George Russell, the Mercedes driver at the Canadian Grand Prix 2025. This was an interesting outing for the man who was able to start that race from the pole position and also being able to win the maximum point at the Canadian Grand Prix, finishing first ahead of Max Verstappen, who battled down to the last lap of that particular race. But at the end of the day, George Russell for the Mercedes was able to finish first position, where we only saw Max Verstappen finishing in the second position. And quite an highlight for the day was the young talent we talk about, Kimi Antonelli, was at the age of 18, was able to finish in the third position and making it his first podium in the world of Formula One. You can take nothing away from the young talent. At the age of 18, he was able to win the Driver of the Day award, and thus not only that, he was able to finish third position, his first podium in the world of Formula One, being able to mark an incredible one for the Mercedes, being able to bag 1 to 3 podium finish at the Canadian Grand Prix. Kimi Antonelli, the young talent, will be hoping to build on this momentum, having able to finish ahead of the likes of Lewis Hamilton. He was able to finish ahead of the informed driver in person of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris for the McLaren's team, and an incredible one for him. But another highlight of the day was at the point where Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris collided at the Canadian Grand Prix, and this means that Lando Norris couldn't finish at the Canadian Grand Prix, and also this means that Oscar Piastri could only finish at the fourth position at the Canadian Grand Prix, where we saw George Russell winning it for the Mercedes, Max Verstappen finishing second, and Kimi Antonelli, the 18-year-old, finishing third position at the Canadian Grand Prix. But quickly talking about that, let's switch our attention to the world of football, where we have so many speculation going across the transfer window. As you know, the transfer window has been reopened in the world of football, but we also know that it has been official that Thomas Frank has given a signature to Tottenham Hotspur, and he'll be their next manager next season, where we'll be seeing him coaching Tottenham Hotspur after Tottenham Hotspur decided to sign Postecoglou just weeks after winning them the Europa League. Thomas Frank is one of the managers that I rate the most in the Premier League. In fact, he was the second highest serving manager in the Premier League before he decided to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. Will he be making the difference for Tottenham Hotspur next season? Will they be able to finish way ahead of the position they finished last season under Postecoglou? The 17th position is not the position that Tottenham Hotspur will be hoping to finish, and that is why they got the signature of Thomas Frank, who has been looking to convince his former player, we talk about brimming, to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. But you know that there has been speculation that brimming will prefer a switch to Manchester United, as he is a big fan of Manchester United, and he is hoping that Manchester United and Brentford could reach an agreement to get his signature brimming to Manchester United, who will be on other addition to Manchester United. You know that they have been able to secure the signing of Matheus Cunha. It has been official between Wolverhampton and Manchester United, as the Brazilian will be playing for Manchester United next season, that will be starting by September. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Matheus Cunha playing for Manchester United, and Manchester United also has made their intention known in the transfer window as they are in search of strikers this season. You will also remember that Gugures has decided that he will be giving priority to Champions League football, and as such be preparing a move to Arsenal Football Club rather than uniting with Ruben Amorim, his former manager at Sporting with Manchester United. It's going to be an headache for Manchester United, who has also been in touch with Gugures, and this means that they will be looking for another striker in the transfer window, and at this time they are also looking at a young talent, a 22 years old man that plays in Germany. We'll talk about a young talent that plays at the Bundesliga. We'll talk about Hugo Nketiah that plays for Frankfurt. Manchester United will be hoping to secure his signature, as they are also hoping to sell so many players at the transfer window already. With Garnacho up for sales, Rasmus Højlund could be making a move to an Italian team next season in the world of football. Quite an interesting one. Also, over the weekend we saw that Italian football team were able to announce the appointment of Gattuso as their new manager. Italy really needs to be back to the World Cup, and they really need to perform very well as the World Cup in the year 2026, and as such they have gotten the signature of Gattuso, their former player that was able to win the World Cup with them the year 2006. Will he be able to make a difference as a manager with the Italian team at the World Cup? This is so many things that we'll be looking forward to in the world of football, and as the year runs to an end preparing for the World Cup 2026. But also we also know that the World Club Cup is going on right now in the world of football. But permit me to go on a very short break, and when we're right back we continue from where we stop.
JK Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
Welcome back. The Club World Cup started over the weekend, where we saw the very first match played by Inter Miami, a match that was full of so many dramas. But the match only ended goalless and draw in the first match at the Club World Cup. But an interesting one over the weekend was an interesting match that was full of goals from Bayern Munich, who were able to win their opening match 10 goals to 0 at the Club World Cup. Quite an interesting one for Bayern Munich, starting off with 10 goals and the World Club Cup. Will we be seeing another team scoring over 10 goals or exactly 10 goals at the Club World Cup? We'll be keeping our fingers crossed at the World Club Cup, as so many teams will be participating at the Club World Cup. You know that Chelsea are also representing England and at the Club World Cup. But also an interesting one coming from the champions of the UEFA Champions League. We'll talk about Paris Saint-Germain being able to defeat Atletico Madrid, the Spanish side, 4 goals to 0. Paris Saint-Germain were able to continue from where they stopped at the UEFA Champions League finals, where they were able to defeat Inter Milan 5 goals to 0. This time around, they were able to defeat one of the defending side at the world of football 4 goals to 0 at the Club World Cup. Luis Enrique's side are showing to us that they are beginning to get their momentum up, and they might just be the favorite to win the Club World Cup this season after the switch in the play and in the setup of the Club World Cup. And interesting features up for the Club World Cup as displayed on your screen. So many teams will be going head to head at the Club World Cup. We'll be seeing the likes of Manchester City playing on Juventus. We'll be seeing the likes of Real Madrid taking on El Hilal, the Saudi Arabia side, at the Club World Cup. But the competition has started already, and I know we are up for a ride for every sport lovers across the world of sport at the Club World Cup. And who are you rooting for at the Club World Cup this season? And also in the world of football, take nothing away from Real Madrid, who are good in signing Galacticos, as Alexander-Arnold has completed his move to Real Madrid. It has been official, and in fact Alexander-Arnold at his unveiling was able to give his welcome speech in Spanish. Quite an interesting one for Real Madrid fans is interesting. For Liverpool fans, it looks as a betrayal. While with a player that has spent most of his years in England give his welcome speech in Spanish, that means he has taken a long while to prepare for this speech, and he has made up his mind. Though Liverpool were hoping that he is going to continue with them and eventually become their captain in Liverpool after spending so much years in Liverpool. In fact, he started his career from Liverpool Football Club, but betraying them to go on a free transfer to Real Madrid, and after shocking them with an opening speech in Spanish, this will be an heartbreak for Liverpool fans. And right now, for me, I think they have every right to be upset with Alexander Arnold, but you cannot blame the player playing for Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. He will be hoping to win the Champions League, and he has decided to settle for a new number with the Spanish La Liga side. We'll talk about Real Madrid, where we'll be playing for Real Madrid, and will be putting on the jersey number 12 with a new name and with a new number with Real Madrid. Let's see if he will be able to be successful under Xabi Alonso, and let's see if he will be able to fight for the spot where Cavaja will be back from injury for Real Madrid. And this is the length at which will be going on this week episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media and Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. Enjoy your week, remain blessed. Thank you.